Coming up, the Ginger Market has a new high-tech update.
It's hard to find a parking spot here on campus. Why? I'll have the story right ahead.
And thousands packed the streets of San Francisco's Chinatown as Lunar Parade returns in person for the first time since the pandemic began. Those stories and more straight ahead.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Rodri Smith.
And I'm Jonathan Schaefer. We begin with a bit of bad news. The San Jose State University is mourning the loss of a treasured member of the Spartan family. Lawrence Fan passed away unexpectedly Monday night. For 42 years, he worked to promote Spartan sports and student athletes. He's believed to be the first Chinese American to join the College Sports Information Directors of America. He was enshrined in the organization's Hall of Fame. You might have seen him. He had attended more than 500 Spartan football games. He would often hand out slices of home-baked cake. The university's athletics director called him a Hall of Famer in both his life and his work. He will be missed. San Jose State University is now back to in-person classes, but with that move, a frustrating problem has emerged: parking. It's getting harder to find a space. Reporter Brianna Matha has been getting reaction from students and trying to find out why.
Students are upset that they may have to show up hours before class just to get a parking space.
In-person classes resumed at San Jose State University on Valentine's Day, but there is no love from students who say they have to drive round and round the parking garages just to find a spot. Asia Tebeno commutes from Pittsburgh in the East Bay 2 days a week. She finds herself driving to the very top of the south garage and circling the lot at least 4 to 5 times to find a spot.
I think it's ridiculous. I think if I'm going to have to pay all that much money, I should have a reserved parking spot.
Students either pay the daily garage parking fee or pay for a parking permit online. That permit ranges from $85 to $152, but that permit doesn't guarantee you'll find parking. Drivers at SJSU wake up early because trying to find parking may cause you to be late or even miss your class. And parking on the street isn't much of an option either. The campus is in the middle of a busy downtown area.
Especially on 7th Street, it goes the whole way down to the freeway on 280.
Students point to the amount they pay in tuition and other fees and say some of that money should go towards getting more parking lots or garages.
Being a female and having a late class, I don't want to have to worry about getting back to my car safely.
There is a new garage on the South Campus that opened up last year with 1,500 spaces, but you have to take a shuttle to the main campus. That may be a deterrent to some commuters. In San Jose, I'm Brianna, Update News.
Although the holiday season is over, the SoCal Porch Pirates are still out there trying to make a profit at your expense. These thieves target delivery packages to your door. I looked into how these thieves are operating and what you can do to prevent from your packages being stolen.
Christmas is in our rearview mirror, but bandits are still trying to find easy ways to make a quick buck. It seems more are resorting to becoming porch pirates. Many of them come from other cities, and that makes it even harder for your neighbors to recognize them. San Bernardino County Ed Ficori explains how packages are new moneymakers for the thieves.
Crime of opportunity, If they see it, they're just going to run and snag it and jump in the car and go.
Police are asking the community, if you see something, say something. An anonymous tip can be what leads to a bust of these kind of operations, and the owners get their valuables back. Ficori explains what type of punishment these thieves receive when caught.
Is a misdemeanor offense, which is basically, it's a bookable offense still, but you will get a citation prompting to appear in court, and then we can take you to jail.
While it's a good idea to get cameras installed outside your house, that might not be enough. Police say it's best to go the extra mile and talk to your neighbors about possibly picking up your valuables when you're not home.
If I have a neighbor that I trust, I would, hey, you mind looking out for my delivery when it comes in, and go that way.
Some companies are offering scheduled deliveries. That could be a way to ensure you're not the porch pirate's next victim.
Silicon Valley has its first fully automatic market powered by artificial intelligence, and it's right here on the campus of San Jose State University. Busy students can just grab their merchandise and go as they get charged later. But how accurate is it? And how does the market prevent fraud? Reporter Nico Parzizadeh has the story.
This is Ginger Market, a first of its kind grab-and-go spot here on San Jose State Campus University. Busy students don't have to stand in line at a checkout. They can scan their phone when they come in, grab their groceries, then just walk out with their purchases in hand.
Basically, if there's any issues with adding a payment card and there's no funds, when you're usually adding on your payment card, it'll say that you're not able to add it on because there are no funds or because there's something just going on with your bank. So if there is that issue, then we do have an option to put in a different credit card or a different debit card if you can't use that card. We also do have dining dollars, and then.
And how do they get charged for these items? It's all due to a system powered by artificial intelligence.
My opinion on the new Boost mobile app is I think it's a really convenient way to be in and out, especially as busy college students. We have to always be on the time schedule, and I still definitely think this saves a lot of unnecessarily checking out and oh my gosh, I have to do this and back. You can literally just grab and go. So I definitely think that it makes it easier for college students, especially because it's a new efficient way.
The market director says the system is 95% accurate and they will still be working to identify any problems. Now, customers seem pretty happy. In San Jose, Nico Parzizadeh, Update News.
San Francisco's Lunar Parade is one of the largest New Year's celebrations outside of Asia. For 2 years, the pandemic shut it down, but it's back, and so were thousands of Bay Area residents who watched it. Reporter Solma Kanawi has the story.
It's the year of the tiger, and San Francisco's Lunar Parade came roaring back. The pandemic shut down the pageantry for the past 2 years, but now thousands packed the streets of Chinatown to watch it in person once again.
It's amazing to have it back in person again, just to be around this crowd, being locked up for so long. It's been fun, and it's fun to see my child in it, just like I was.
This year, San Francisco police were out in force too, making sure everyone was safe. A series of anti-Asian hate crimes have spiked around the country. But for some parade goers, the increase in police presence was too much.
There was a lot of police officers, and it was kind of scary at first because I was noticing just the amount of weapons that they had, and it kind of made me scared for what are they preparing for?
But most seemed to revel in the festivities. They didn't mind lining the streets for hours as they watched.
Super nice. It's nice to see people out after not having seen people in Chinatown for the last couple of years. There's still a lot of community here. All ages and color, and I think that's what San Francisco is supposed to be about. So it's super nice to see that out and happening again.
It ended with a bang, celebrating the new year. In San Francisco, Sulma Kanawi, Update News.
And when we come back.
San Jose State is now implementing mandatory COVID testing. More on this after the break.
San Jose is currently categorized as being in a severe drought. Stay tuned to see how our city and residents are conserving water.
California COVID positivity rate is way down, but a new strict COVID policy at San Jose State University is leaving students frustrated. It's mandatory weekly COVID testing, but only students who live on campus have to take the test. Reporter Allison Cruz has been getting the reactions.
For now, it's the new normal on San Jose State University campus. Classes are back in person, masking is still required indoors, but there's one policy that's prompting some frustration. Mandatory weekly COVID testing for students who live on campus. Even though they're required to be vaccinated, some are asking, why is a requirement just for those who live on campus?
So we still share the common area, the campus, and it's very unfair that only housing area has to do the testing because we still interact with people that don't live on campus, and it put us at risk. And I just think that everyone should get tested.
Fourth-year student Samantha Franco says the students who commute to campus may be asymptomatic. She says there are still too many unknowns to only hold the residents living on campus accountable for weekly testing.
When it comes to cleaning classrooms and everything, it doesn't happen after every class. So the chances of you sitting in a seat also may be from someone else that was sitting there who may not even live on campus. You may never know if maybe they have the symptoms.
The mandate came down just before the start of the spring semester. Students have to make a testing appointment with the Wellness Center. Their results show up on the university's official app called the SAMI app. Students who live on campus must also fill out a daily questionnaire about whether or not they have COVID symptoms. Some students say they don't mind.
Of all the uncertainty that's going on right now, it's definitely important to be safe.
But others say on-campus students often interact with commuter students in common areas like the gym, the library, the student union, and even the classroom.
It's literally the unknown, which is why I do believe that whether you live on campus or not, being tested should be required.
According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, San Jose is listed under the category D2. That means conditions here are a severe drought. The long wildfire season is part of the problem. So what are people doing to help conserve water? Supporter Savannah Ceballos has been asking that question.
San Jose Water Company says that maybe we need to consider the drought as part of the new normal, and the agency is committed to reducing water loss, including the deployment of technologies.
Acoustic sensors and satellites, and systematically replacing our aging pipes, and safely and timely repairing leaks in a safe and efficient manner to minimize water loss.
Not only are these efforts a great way to reduce water usage, some feel saving water is simple.
There are so many different ways to conserve water. For instance, tap water. I could use it with a filter. This makes me save water.
Because water conservation is crucial to our lives, some have even changed the way they shower.
Shower, I like to use a bucket. We do it old school style, like in Mexico. I fill up a bucket, I shower. I try not to use more than a bucket because at the end of the day I know we're in a drought and I don't want to waste water that doesn't need to be wasted.
While residents are doing their best to reduce water consumption, one question remains. Will the spring season bring the rain we need, or will the dry spell continue? In San Jose, I'm Savannah Ceballos for Update News.
There's a bit of good news in our weather future. We'll get some much needed rain, and our cold snap might be coming to an end. Reporter Grace Pang has the weekly forecast.
And now we have the weather forecast. A winter blast continues around the Bay Area, as you have no doubt noticed. Our very cold mornings with temperatures in the 20s and 30s, slowly trending a bit warmer into the weekend. There is a welcome chance we could see some rain by Sunday, mainly for areas across the Bay Area into early next week. Our future cast shows the cloudy skies on the increase Sunday, with the green areas showing chances for rain developing later in the weekend. Rain totals are expected to be fairly light, with higher amounts for areas north of San Francisco. For now, it's looking like Saturday should be mostly dry, with rain chances for later Sunday. Next, we have the 7-day forecast. Kicking us off with Santa Cruz, we have a Sunday high of 66 and low of 56. For San Francisco, a high of 62 and a low of 57. Oakland, with a Sunday high of 64 and a low of 44. And last but not least, a high of 69 and low of 63 in San Jose. So don't forget to bundle up and stay warm and layer up, bundle up, same thing. And that's all for the weather. Back to you in the studio.
And when we come back.
I'm Christian Trujano in downtown San Jose, where this local coffee shop by day turns into a vibrant, diverse, open mic night venue.
Here at Excite Ballpark, the Spartans opened up their 2022 baseball season with 23 new transfer students. Stick around and see how it all went down. San Jose State Baseball won its opening day game to kickstart the 2022 season against the University of Nebraska at Omaha. I was there to catch the action. Opening day of the 2022 offseason, and SJSU Spartan Baseball got off to a roaring start. The team took on the Omaha Mavericks. Right out the gate, the Spartans hopped on the first pitch blast from redshirt sophomore Robert Hamchuk.
Originally, my approach was to not swing the first pitch, and he told me, why not set the tone? So I went up there and I set the tone.
The bench roared for the outfielder, and the season was officially underway.
It was crazy. I mean, I was rounding that base, and I almost felt like I was going to have a heart attack.
But the game was far from over, and the Spartans had to keep the Mavericks at bay to get an opening day win. Starting pitcher Ethan Ross tossed a solid game, going 3 innings for his Spartan debut.
Yeah, we're going to do some great things. A lot of people aren't expecting. A lot of people think we're going to lose a lot of games, and I think it's the complete opposite, because our hitters are going to always score a bunch of runs, and we're going to get a lot of zeros on the board.
As the sun went down, SJSU continued to pummel the Mavericks, eventually winning 14-9.
Really just proud of our guys and happy with the first one as always. A lot of adrenaline and a lot of excitement to start the year and just have a win so we can just put it behind us and keep going.
Flavorful coffee, artwork, and a sense of community are all the things Nirvana Soul has become known for. The Black-owned coffee shop is quickly becoming a staple in downtown. San Jose nightlife scene with an after-dark open mic show. Reporter Christian Chirwano takes a look at how the coffee shop is trying to build a bigger creative community in the South Bay.
Carnalizing reality and selling whipped dreams. Don't beat around the Butterfinger if you're not trying to get licked, cat. Wait a minute, let's retwix that.
Anytime I feel jaded, so I ran home.
He says it's impossible without him, but I know it's possible.
Nirvana Soul is a vibrant and colorful coffee shop by day, but by night it is quickly becoming the place to be if you're a creative artist. Located at 315 South 1st Street, Nirvana Soul first opened in September of 2020. According to its website, sisters and San Jose natives Jeronica Macy and Bianca Ashalu had a specific goal when they opened the store. They occupy the site formerly known as Cafe Frascati, and they wanted to keep the legacy of the open mic nights. But as a black-owned business, they wanted to make sure the space was inclusive for all types of people.
Demographically, Frascati's was white. Like it was white people. It was white people who owned it. It was mostly white people that came in to visit, and it was mostly white people who did the comedy and poetry nights.
Your grandma didn't grow up in the South, a 14-year-old girl with some kids and a spouse.
How am I supposed to live, laugh, love in these conditions when people are depressed and dying, and I wish I didn't mean it literally.
Schwartz, who used to work for Frascati, teamed up with producer and SJSU music graduate Joy Hackett to make their vision come alive.
It was clear from the outset that there was a real need in this community for a space that was safe for people of color, because there wasn't before.
People were down to come and bring their art and show their music and show their comedy, so it was really great.
I grew up in my grandfather's home. Under his roof, every holiday was a parade of pan dulce and Thanksgiving dinner.
San Francisco State graduate and poet Christian Rivera Nolan used to do the open mic nights at Cafe Frascati before it closed down. He said he felt the soul in the room, and to him, that's the most important part in any open mic venue.
I've been to a lot of different open mics in different countries and different big cities in the United States, and I feel like you can tell when there's a spark.
The producers say it's important for the audience to see performers who look just like them.
This is one black woman who came in, and her stuff was so funny, and it was all things that I could absolutely relate to.
There's a lot of young black people who want to do poetry, and this is a space for them that they didn't have before.
The After Dark shows are held Wednesday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Nirvana Soul encourages people to sign up and share what they have to say. In downtown San Jose, I'm Christian Trujano, Update News.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
From all of us here, thank you for joining us and see you next week.